Don't judge me. I just wish he knew. That's just like you. I miss you all the time. I need you.
Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? What's going on? This your boy K Styles here on the six-man combo live to you on a Thursday afternoon. And as you riding shotgun, as you already know, it is the Senator Mad Mike Sports.
Yeah, yay, baby. Yay, yay, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
Oh Lord,
Hey, baby.
oh Lord, and
Y'all
we
remember
got
that song?
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I remember that. But like you said, man, we appreciate y'all coming in, man. Like you said, man, we got a plethora of topics that we want to go ahead and get into this evening. But before we go ahead and get right into it, man, like you said, Mike, man, let the folk know, how do we always start the show up?
Well, we start this show. Well, I start this show with a little behind the scenes view. So if y'all go to Mad Mike Network, you start seeing what we see in the background, how we read your comments. Y'all can see on the right side of the thing. A lot of people don't know how it goes, but this is how it goes. But we like to kind of give the people who are not familiar with us behind the scenes of what we do here, and a lot of bull crap that goes into that. Um, but we like to give you what we call the rock out, baby. Baby. That's my Prince remix, y'all. By the way, just so you know,
Oh, you prancing it up.
the high Prince. You know how Prince like to be exaggerated with his. So yeah, make me want to do it again, baby. Woo.
Artist formerly known as Prince with that shit. Um,
Huh?
as I said, she want to be the artist formerly known as Prince with this shit. Let's go. I'm gonna just say it right now. If you walking around with assless chaps, you getting hit with a brick. I'm just letting you know right
No,
now.
I ain't gonna go that far,
You
but
go, yeah, yeah.
you know what's crazy
I'm
though,
bust you
Kel?
your head upside with one of the bricks that's on the pallet on the side of the road here in Atlanta, nigga. So you don't do that.
The crazy part about it, this is no joke, but girls used to call me Prince in high school, boy, and in middle school and high school because got real long eyelashes, and I swear to God, boy, I hated every fucking bit of it. But I could not get past. I could not
Yeah,
get. I got thick eyebrows and long eyelashes, and girls used to love the shit, but I hated it. I couldn't stand that shit. I used to go get Prince all the time. Believe it or not.
yeah, yeah. At least you got that part. Me, unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but I used to always get the question: Are you related from Keenan and Kel?
Wow.
I used to get that shit.
Oh, that's
I used to get
crazy.
that shit. Exactly. Same last name and everything, and dude from Atlanta.
Oh
So I don't
man.
damn know.
Man,
Everybody
that's
out
funny.
there go around and tell your whole boys, your whole girls the top of Keenan and Kel. You keep me laughing in the afternoon, so don't touch that dial while I leave the room. But it's always in summer fun and you don't want to miss it. The double play like two good ways. Keenan and Kel should say Kelly Keenan. You gotta watch Keenan because Keenan be scheming with a plan or a plot to make it to the top. You're kind of in the middle because you always getting caught. It's not the Hardy Boys or next to
Man, know the
Drew
whole
Mystery.
song, yeah.
It's Keenan and Kel in the vicinity. Abbott and Costello. Hey, Kareem, I missed the part, so I don't really care. But
That's more than what I damn know.
yeah,
Hell, I didn't know that much.
yeah, they used to ask me if I was related to Keenan Thompson, even though we do have the same
Oh,
last name.
that's
Yeah,
crazy. Hey, you might know. Hell, maybe y'all great daddies done got together or something, got babies on the other side of the country or something. You never know.
exactly, exactly. So yes, shout out. Yes, that's my name.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Since he on social media like that, y'all probably just finding that out.
But hey, man, yeah, but yeah, man, we got a good one coming for you this evening. We got three topics. Um, we're gonna be talking about Michael Penix's comments on Drake London in 2025. We're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers, and we're gonna talk about Trae Young.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of special guests, Teflon Red, what's happening?
What's happening?
So yeah, we're gonna definitely kick it off. Um, before we get to the Falcon topic, I want to go ahead and get this Aaron Rodgers topic out the way, man. So, as y'all already know, Aaron Rodgers, the newest quarterback in Pittsburgh, aka he's gonna be Arthur Smith's new toy at quarterback. The question that I asked all y'all and the both of y'all: does this propel the Pittsburgh Steelers to be playoff contenders in 2025?
Well, I'll let Sam.
Uh, well, y'all, because I spoke on this. Um, he kind of sort of had a little back and forth with the overly smart dumb motherfuckers about this. Uh, because I don't see it for a multitude of reasons. First of all, can him and his ego fit in that locker room? Uh, Second, we're talking about a 43-year-old cat that has lost several steps, and that arm ain't as strong as it's supposed to be, as it used to be. Now, he threw 28 touchdowns last season, and I can count 15 of those that were in late game out of reach situations. So that right there in itself tells you exactly what you got coming in. I mean, this is a whole shoot yourself in the foot, you know what I'm saying, with one knee-jerk dumb decision and back it up with another, with the whole state of affairs in Pittsburgh. I don't see them, even with the rank game they got, and they have a viable offensive line. They do. But the toxicity of Aaron Rodgers in itself, I think, is going to be a problem. Just saying.
What you got, Mike? What you got on that?
Um, I don't doubt that Aaron Rodgers. See, the thing is, I'm not looking at Aaron Rodgers as the same guy. He's clearly not that same guy. Um, does he throw the ball like he used to? Absolutely not. The accuracy is still there. The power isn't there as it used to be, but he still can make some throws downfield. Um, Athleticism definitely isn't there. So there's a lot that isn't there. But you got to look at the team that he's on. For me, that's what I'm looking at. As long as they pay Mr. Watt, they should be fine. He's holding out, but I think they should be fine for the most part. But like, if they can get the running game going, I think Arthur can do that, getting the running game going. And Aaron Rodgers just, if he just stays within what he can do, I think that offense will be okay. But it really just depends on how he buys into what Arthur Smith wants to do. I think that's the thing because he's um, when you talk about crack babies, like he acts like a crack baby. He's addicted to chaos. He's like a crackhead. He's addicted to chaos. They can't have anything without chaos. This is what he is. He thrives on chaos. But the thing is with that too is the head coach, Mike Tomlin. He ain't with the bullshit. You start getting out of hand. Look, he let you be you until it start getting out of hand. When it become a problem, that's when he gonna handle it. So for me, I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to come out here and throw for 4,000 yards and 38 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like I'm not looking at him to do that. Like I don't think he has that in him anymore. Um, I I'm not expecting him to have like honestly, I'm just not expecting him to be a big team.
Okay. Okay. So do the both of y'all believe that the guy that they drafted this year, was it Will Howard at Ohio State? Do you think that he'll have something? Do you think that Aaron Rodgers will be willing to mentor him?
Aaron Rodgers ain't mentoring nobody.
I mean, he doesn't have a choice. To be honest, he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice because like he's on his last leg. Like I said, there's not a lot of options left for him. Like if you're talking about an Aaron Rodgers, I think he got humbled by that Jets, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he took so long to decide because he know he's not the same athlete. He still wants to play, and he wants to see if he can do it, but I don't think he have a choice. Like this is Pittsburgh. They not in the other franchise where they're just gonna allow the inmates to run the asylum like that. That's not how their organization runs. So I don't think he have a choice. I think the
Mm,
organization's not gonna like. I don't think the organization gonna allow him.
okay. Okay. Because honestly, I really don't know. Um, because the same thing was said about them possibly being playoff contenders when he was with the Jets. But the one thing I will say, since the Pittsburgh Steelers have what I call identity with their franchise, where you know them for the smash mouth style. Like you said, it'll definitely help him out a lot. Like you said, with the Jalen Warren and what's the dude they just drafted? Kalen Johnson. But
Mhm.
I got one major thing that I had to say. How soon will it be before him and DK Metcalf get the squabbling up on the sideline? That's what I'm waiting on. Cause Lord have mercy. If you would have had him, DK Metcalf, and George Pick, oh Lord, that is a Royal Rumble 2026 worthy right there. So do you think so? And I think with Aaron Rodgers being experienced like that, it could possibly humble DK Metcalf, but at the same time, I'm sitting here wondering, can he, with Aaron Rodgers having the history of kind of being one of those assholes in the locker room too, with certain things. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's y'all takes on that?
I mean, like Jordan Love did say this about Aaron Rodgers that he was helpful. So it's like I think Aaron is like I'm gonna just be honest. Like I don't think he left Green Bay. That's just my opinion. I don't think he left Green Bay because he didn't want Jordan Love to be, that guy. Like we clearly knew, it was becoming bad long before Jordan Love was even drafted. Like him and the Green Bay Packers just didn't agree on the coaching. I mean, where the offense was going. That was clearly one of the issues there. So before Jordan Love even got there, like Aaron Rodgers was already beefing with the Packers, the direction of the offense. So I don't think he took it out on Jordan Love. And clearly for me, despite what a lot of people think, like I think his arrogance came because he felt that he could do a better job building the team than Green Bay. I think that's where his arrogance, came from. That he felt like he could build it because you're a quarterback, and like quarterback and general manager, team president, that's different things. Scouts, different thing. Um, but I don't believe that he's gonna be one of those. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. He's selfish as hell, but I don't think he's one of those guys that he gonna take it out on his own quarterback.
See, here's the reality of the situation. You take a look at the last 5 years of Aaron Rodgers. The last three and these two in New York showed you exactly who and what he is. The problem started in Green Bay when Green Bay was going to a more run-oriented offense. That was the whole problem. Aaron Rodgers wants to air it out. He wants to dictate the offense with his arm. We Arthur Smith, and then knowing how his offense is predicated on a mobile type quarterback and run oriented, style of offense, getting your tight ends involved, things of that nature. That's where the problem gonna be. That's where the problem gonna be. Okay, and look at what happened in New York. You got a whole head coach run up out of New York, and the team, especially the offense, went downhill. You wasn't moving the ball. You was 3 and out most times out of 9. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he done had a come to Jesus meeting, and he's gonna be compliant with the overall vision of the offense in Pittsburgh. I mean, because again, there is a run game there. You got a pretty substantial offensive line. All right. Are you gonna be cool with running the ball? 3 out of 5 times. Your pass attempts. Dropping down. 10 less than what you used to doing 25 or 30. If you gonna be okay with that, you gonna be cooperative with that. Those are the questions that need answers to. And if you go based on what happened his last 3 years in Green Bay and these 2 years in New York, injury included. So we talking about a 43-year-old quarterback that got a leg and a half. $43 years in that division. We all know the AFC North is one of the more hard-hitting defensive divisions in football.
Mm.
And Aaron Rodgers is a free hit away from a retirement.
Okay. So the final question on this topic is: are they playoff bound?
It depends on the defense. Because, like I said, they go as wide goes. If they give him what he's worth, then they're gonna be in the picture. Because I think everybody just assuming that the Ravens are going to be the same team. And like I said, for me, I'm not going to underestimate Aaron Rodgers' ability to you know, uh, just manage a game because I think he can do that. Like he doesn't have to. I think where Aaron Rodgers get in his um this damn term that Raheem likes to use is athletic arrogance gets the best of him, where he just thinks he can just fit the ball in anywhere and do anything with the ball. I think if he comes to the realization that he is an older quarterback, he is 43 and just manage the game, I actually think they can win a lot of games. Because that defense, their offensive line, and running game, it's pretty good in Pittsburgh. Like they don't need Aaron Rodgers to be a mega star.
Hmm. Okay.
But my take is predicated on them playing solid defense.
That's the thing, Mike. Is he going to be compliable to, yielding to Najee Harris in that run game?
It don't matter. That's Mike Tomlin saying. Mike Tomlin is. I think we underestimate Mike Tomlin as a coach. He ain't Raheem. He ain't Raheem by far.
Okay. All right. So I want to get off of that topic right there. We gonna go right into the Falcon, the Falcon topic of the day. I thought I wanted to go ahead and start that off with a little bit of NFL talk around the league. So we're gonna get into the Falcon. We're gonna get into the Falcon talk for this show. Um, Drake London unleashed in 2025. So pretty much the reason why this is a topic of conversation is because Junebug was asked a question about Drake London, being underrated as far as his season in 2024. And I'm just paraphrasing this because I don't have the exact quote in front of me. He basically said that um, the league is going to know about Drake London this year. So, based on the numbers that he had in 2024, which was about 110, close to 1,409 touchdowns, do you believe that Drake London is going to eclipse those type of numbers in 2025? And do you think that that is capable or that is beneficial to the Atlanta Falcons offense?
Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I think this is a counter question to my topic from yesterday about the Falcons run game. He's going to have numbers, but I don't think he's going to have last year's numbers. I can see him 80, 90 catches at best. Anywhere from 950 to 1,000, 1,400 receiving. Because I think that Zach Robinson is going to be making a concerted effort to get creative in scheming. Pitts. You know what I'm saying? Some catches, and then if this run game is on par with this progression the last 2 years. We may see in this offense where you have 4 guys with 800 yards each. There is a strong possibility of that type of balance. Because you're looking at a good problem to have is too many weapons. You got 2 guys in your backfield, most notably Bijan. Okay. I mean, he coming off a year where he had 2,100 yards all purpose from the line of scrimmage.
It was about close to 2,000. Yeah.
You're talking about a good decoy, and you got Tyler, this is a contract year for Tyler. I'm saying is, he has Drake has the ability to have those numbers he had from last season, no doubt about it. But to take full advantage of the options you have in your offense, are you gonna force feed that, or are you gonna spread it around to all of your options? Because you got a Mooney, you brought in Agnew, who's gonna get touches as well. Kyle, you got Joshua Simon. If he comes off and have and it's looking it be exactly what he's looking like in camp. You got these other guys, Nash added to the gumbo pot of options. Yeah. You're looking at a problem, but a good problem to have at that, is having a whole lot of weapons. Just saying.
What you got on that, Mike?
Well, I actually think it's a horrible idea to give Drake another season where he has 100 catches or not. I don't think you're getting the full potential out of the Atlanta Falcons offense in its entirety, just focusing on one guy. I think that's an absolute horrible job, a horrible idea. Being one of the main reasons why, it was 2 main reasons. Well, is for me, you got to control the middle of the field. You have to. And it's 3 guys you have to get the ball to in order to do that. You got to get that ball to Kyle Pitts. Look, people can, I don't care if it's 40 to 60 times with Kyle Pitts, but he needs the 40 to 60 catches just in itself. He needs that. Okay, that's one guy. And it's my opinion that Tyler Algier needs the ball about 150 times out of the year. And another 250 times from Bijan Robinson. Like, that's just the magic number for me. It's 250. I don't want to see him with 300 plus at the end of the year. I would much rather have him about 250 carries, no more than 270. Because I want to preserve Bijan Robinson. But the thing is, when you don't have those guys, when you have Ray McLeod, you have Mooney, you have guys like Nash, you got guys like Cordero Hart that can come in. You know, he's come in and played particularly well with Michael Penix. Like, I don't think you're getting the best out of this total, like the offense. Now, Drake can damn sure catch 100. He's already shown that. But when you're fixated on one guy, uh, you're not getting the best out of your offense, because that's another element that everybody keeps forgetting about. I don't know why people keep forgetting about it. Michael Penix can actually run. Okay, he can actually run. He's a very good athlete. We're assuming that he's just going to stand in the pocket and not run. So a lot of opportunities to pass the ball may turn into run plays. So a lot of these guys in the receiving corps might not get a lot of touches because based on what the defense is going to do against Penix. Let's just say the defense is going to dare Michael Penix to run. Y'all don't think this guy gonna? You don't think he's gonna make a? You don't think Michael Penix gonna take that opportunity? Because he's a very smart quarterback. He's not gonna run around, like a chicken with his head cut off. Lamar Jackson, but he's not gonna do that. But he's gonna take his opportunity to run, and he's gonna get down. He's not gonna, he's not gonna go crazy with it like Lamar Jackson. He's not gonna do that. But I think that's an element of this Falcon offense that nobody's accounting for, because everybody's just assuming that he's just gonna stand in the pocket. This offense is going to be completely different under Michael Penix. This guy has the best of both worlds, but he chooses to be a quarterback. Okay, unlike that little thing up in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. This offense is going to be different, and I think that's the thing. You can't assume that because he had 100 yards, 100 catches last year, mostly with Kirk Cousins, that this offense is going to be exactly the same with Michael Penix, because it's not. Tell y'all, buckle your fucking seatbelt, because this Falcon offense is going to be fun.
So let's ask the question here. Let's say that is the plan to to push Drake London's numbers to the next level. My thing is how and what would be the factors that would literally have Drake London's numbers go higher than what they were in 2014? Is it
So,
better defense? Is it, sacrificing somebody else's numbers? Let's just say no, in the case scenario that is. What would you
scoring.
rather have?
If throwing the ball to Drake leads to score, then by all means stick to that.
Hmm.
It just depends on what the results, what are getting results. Because Philadelphia won, and the Chiefs won by having basic offenses. Neither one of those offenses was exciting last year. They handed the ball off then there 500, 600 times in Philadelphia. The Chiefs, they barely. This is probably one of the first years that you saw Patrick Mahomes check the ball down as much as he did. Like, they just stuck to what was good, what was working for them. So it really just depends on what, if Drake passing the ball to Drake in certain situations, in most situations, is going to lead to the offense being more effective, then by all means do it. Have 100 catches if it leads to points, if it leads to this offense being more effective. I'm all for it.
Hmm. Ah, So here's another question that comes into this. Let's say that is the objective to get Drake London the ball more. Who gets sacrificed in order for that to happen? Because the thing is, and we've talked about this, is the Falcons are in a very interesting position because you literally have two guys that you have to decide what you want to do with. The thing is, do you work out a deal to where you give Drake London his money now? So if so, just in case if he has a better season than he did last year, you're already on the books with him. And then the other situation is, do you take care of Bijan Robinson now, or is Kyle Pitts part of your future plans beyond 2025?
Well, Kyle Pitts is not going to be sacrificed because he doesn't get the ball that much. He's a tight end. So he's going to get the same amount of targets that he's always gotten. Okay,
But
because he's a tight end. Tight ends are going to get the ball around 60 times. And that's a high. So it won't be Kyle Pitts that's going to be suffering.
Yeah.
Like if that's not happening. Again, guys like Tyler Algier, Ray McLeod, a lot of a lot of the guys that are backups, those guys are not going to receive touches, but it won't be Kyle because Kyle is a tight end, and tight ends don't get the ball that much anyway.
but here's the question: with the fanfare of people wanting Kyle Pitts to live up to what they say his fourth overall status, wouldn't that mean that he needs to get more of the football?
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that you asked that question because Raheem pretty much said exactly what we've been saying about Kyle. But because he's a fourth overall pick, excuse me, um, people expect him to have that many targets. But he pretty much stated in the press conferences, he's a tight end. We want to get him the ball about 40 to 60 times a year and about 600, 700 yards. That's the number that we have for him. So that's Raheem. That's what he has. So it go back to what you were saying, kid. It's either the fans or the Falcons. What do you think the Falcons are going to do?
I mean, the thing about it is, you know how we thinking. It don't matter who gets what, just as long as it leads to dubs. But like you said, at the same time, we dealing with a Falcon media and a bunch of Falcon fans that's looking at Kyle Pitts and say that he needs to be at least top five in overall receiving yards in the NFL, solely based off the fact that he was drafted fourth overall. And that has been kind of the distraction point for the Falcons because on one hand, everybody wants to see Drake London get more yards and more targets. But at the same time, they want to see Kyle Pitts in that top five overall in receiving yards. While at the same time, you literally have a number two that was 8 yards away from 1,000. At the same time, you got a running back that wants to clip 2,000. So it's like you got a whole bunch of things going on right here. And this is the question that you have to ask as far as Michael Penix.
Can I ask you?
Is the
Let me
dist-
read some numbers too. I want to read some numbers out too to kind of go because this is very important to read these numbers up because obviously you saw in 2021 where he was a Pro Bowler, right? Okay. Do
Right.
you know who had the second most targets and third most targets on
Was
that team?
it Russell Gage and Cordero Patterson?
Yes. This is the worst part about this. Okay. This is the worst part about it. Who was third? Who was fourth? Who was fourth behind those guys?
If I take a guess, it would be Tajay Sharp.
Nope. Mike Davis.
Uh,
You see where I'm going with this?
I'm about to go cut my foot off right quick.
Nah, that's who it is. So these are the targets for that year. This is why I want to read. I'm gonna read 2024 too. Okay, kind of give
Okay.
y'all an idea. Okay, Kyle Pitts had 110 catches. Russell Gage, I mean targets. Excuse me, targets. He had 94 in Russell Gage of targets. Cordero
Okay.
Patterson was 69. Mike Davis, okay, with 58. Alameda Zacchaeus with 53. And then I'm just going to throw Calvin really out there because he didn't play a lot of games there too. But Tajay Sharp was behind Alameda Zacchaeus with 37. Okay, let me give you 2000 and because I think that's another thing too to kind of give you an idea of the
Okay.
player and give you an idea of the targets because I think that's the thing with a lot of Falcons fans. They just think because guys because guys are good, they don't take into account that other players are good on the team. So if you're not throwing to wide receivers like that, obviously your wide receivers aren't good. So 2024, all right, we got Drake London with 158 targets.
Mm,
Darnell Mooney 106.
mm,
Ray McLeod was third with 87.
mm,
Kyle Pitts was fourth with 74. Bijan
mm.
Robinson with 72. So you got one, two, three receivers right off the bat that had over 80 targets in a season. So that just tell you the depth that the Atlanta Falcons have,
Mm.
the depth that they have. And I think that's the thing too that a lot of people are not counting is just it's like, all right, Kyle Pitts is not going to have because we got better receivers. They're not going to have a lot of those targets like that. A lot of it's going to be spread around because we have better players.
Hence is why it's very important for him. It's important for this team in general and Zach Robinson to pretty much kind of ignore the outside noise
Mm-hmm.
because these some of my bitches out here will bitch and moan if Kyle Pitts doesn't have 1,000 yards. While
Mm-hmm.
you literally sitting here, you got two receivers that were 1,000 yard receivers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That
tell
right
you
there is the
something.
key. There. That right there is the
I'm gonna,
key, what you just said.
I'm gonna tell you something. The only way Kyle Pitts will have 1,000 yard season is if this defense is so dominant that the offense gets a multitude of plays as many times as possible. But I don't want to go too much further into that because I want to say I want to save that for a later discussion. And and Mike,
And I do one more thing, Kim. I gotta
go ahead.
do this because it's very important to talk about this because this kind of give you another reason why it's important to kind of put a stamp on it. Guess how many targets Cincinnati had with their wide receivers?
You talking about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase?
Mm-hmm.
Combined, I say about just those two alone, I say combined 240.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The guy had 284 targets just with them. Not even not even counting Gasecki, who had 83 for himself. And then you have Andre, I don't know how the hell you say it. He had another
Oh,
six.
Andre, you talking about my boy Andre Yosibas.
Yosivas. So those guys had over 400 targets right there just with wide receivers and tight ends. So what that essentially means that they're not even thinking about the running game. They just throwing the ball to the wide receiver. They just throwing the ball to receivers.
And, and speaking of Cincinnati, I do want to say this before we get to the last topic. Aren't y'all glad that the Falcons didn't get Shamar Stewart the way he's fucking acting right now?
Oh boy, yes. Oh god.
Now you're talking about something. Now you're talking about something. For these fantasy football man GMs out here that was on that bullshit. You
Them
wanted that in your
motherfucker,
locker room? You wanted that in your locker room?
they said that motherfucker walked out on their ass because he didn't get the goddamn contract that he thought he was gonna get. I'm like, bruh, you is a rookie.
That's a conversation you should have had with your agent.
Hmm. So that's a future conversation in itself. But let me ask everybody that's watching this: have y'all paid attention to that Cincinnati situation? And are you glad that the Falcons don't have to deal with that part of it? Because I know us up here, we like, yeah, we glad they didn't fall on that hype train.
They got all kind of problems in Cincinnati. You gonna have some finance some missing pieces because of financial ingenuity over there in that gap. Yeah, now you got a divided locker room now. You gave two receivers 16 million each per year. But I mean, hey, y'all think we be playing around with monopoly money over this gap? We just go out here, get this cat 45, get this cat 35, get this cat 100 mil. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, and that's also going to be a future topic there in itself. But like I said, the fact that in a span of 3 years, they gave Joe Burrow his contract, Jamar Chase his contract, and T. Higgins his contract. Yeah, and then they just recently released their leading tackler at linebacker just a couple days ago. They ain't got no money to pay nobody right now. And if Trey Henderson decides to sit out 2025, they defense is screwed. Because even with Trey Henderson leading the league in sacks, they still have one of the worst defenses in the league.
His name already Shamar. That already a strike on him anyway. He already making his bid before he even get on the field.
Mm.
That's
But
right. Your name is Shamar. Chill out. We play football.
What the hell, everybody? All right. So we at the 50-minute mark, and right before we get to the final topic, I want to go ahead and you know get let one of our main guests and sponsors of the show lead us on a 1 minute commercial break before we get to the Trey Young topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Alvin, tell them what you think.
Let me just say this. So, y'all favorite content creators, Mad Mike and the Sis Man K Styles, you know that little sit your little goof ass down award they got? Both of them need to take that photo and go sit on the lap of fucking Goofy, right along with their goofy fucking asses, because if they would have read the Atlanta Falcons website, they would have known that practice was not canceled. It happened at the tail end of practice when the scuffle happened. It lasted about 5 seconds. And they returned to practice with about 35 minutes left to practice at the end of the day. So what is the narrative was drawn, they canceled practice, so now everybody need to continue to have something else to put on Raheem, to hate Raheem about. Take that damn sit your goofy ass down award, and both you some bitches share it today. Because both of you, the two goofiest motherfuckers I ever done goddamn been around, sitting up here got a sit your goofy ass down award, and don't even know how to issue out your own goddamn award properly. So,
Alvin, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. That's Alvin Haynes and the Dirty Hole, sponsored by Teacup Entertainment. All right.
Man, you got something to say?
Oh man, that is, y'all are subscribed to a front seat of the bus to hell.
So let me ask. Let me ask everybody a question. Do y'all like Alvin telling us off? Raise your hands in the chat. That was in the chat.
Damn. We the two goofiest motherfuckers in the universe. Damn, I like that shit.
I know.
Hell,
We
I
got we
won
got
like Gorilla last night. Shit with that motherfucker. That's a flex, motherfucker.
Sam got the evil laugh going on over there.
I know what that laugh means. Okay.
Oh yeah, sit your goofy ass down.
Exactly. All right, but today, but the final topic that we had.
Sound like somebody we know.
Who does Alvin sound like to you? You said somebody we know?
Yeah. Real
Oh no, Mike, you gotta do it right. He's a what?
Well, I'm a real nigga. You're a real nigga. There's some real niggas on here,
Teacup Entertainment in association with real nigga incorporated.
Yeah, coordination with Booty Licious Entertainment.
Mike, you gotta say that one more time, boy. That shit is funny.
We some real niggas around here, boy. You hear me, boy? We some real niggas, real.
No, Christy here talking about I'm Alvin's agent. We want a contract before any further commercials are aired without payment.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
man. Oh man. Oh man. Like I said, man, we go. Like I said, Alvin ain't gonna be over here too much. But like I said, when those surprise commercial breaks come on, y'all gonna definitely be entertained. But might do it one more time.
This has been brought to you by Real Niggas Entertainment. God damn it, y'all hear me, boy? We some real niggas around here, boy. We some real niggas. We do some real shit. Real niggas every day. Because we some real niggas. Some real niggas.
In association with Pillow Talk Entertainment.
You said Pillow Talk Entertainment, aka a sane asylum. This can't
Right.
be. That's what you want to say. All right, man. Let's get to the final topic, man. Mike, they say you said you wanted your Mad Mike, and like I said, give a shout out to Auntie Pam and Christy Lewis, aka two of the lady birds of AFN. So y'all make sure y'all check the ladies out every Tuesday night so they can give you some real fountain talk. All right, so JB said brought to you by Delusion Inc. Oh man. All right, man, Mike. You said you wanted your man Mike Minute. Go right ahead. Let me go ahead and cue the music up for you. All right, Mike. Mad Mike Sports. Mad Mike Minute. Go ahead, do your thing.
So this is kind of interesting that we're having this conversation right now because it's becoming a major concern. I'm really worried about you guys' mental health because we see this time and time again. We see time and time again where we have great talent, but we do not appreciate said talent. There's been a guy in this city, well, two guys in this city. One of them named, well, three guys. Okay, let me just go ahead and put a fourth one in there too, and I'll explain why. The first one, Deion Primetime Sanders. It's amazing how Atlanta Falcons fans just forget that this dude is even alive. It's amazing that Primetime is one of the biggest sports heroes in American history. The Falcons fans forget him like he's not even there. A second guy that we see time and time again, they got a kid coming up real soon, and his name is Dominique Wilkins. You try to pretend like Dominique is not even in Atlanta, not even involved with the Atlanta. And then we got another guy in Chipper Jones, who's probably one of the greatest sportsmen this franchise has ever seen, this city, this state has ever seen. You try to act like he's not even alive. And then we got another guy named Matt Ryan. We totally forget that he's even a quarterback. We forget that he white. We forget his name half the damn time. Why am I saying all of this? Well, now it has spilled over. The guy that we see is spilled over to a guy that we see on the screen, right? And his name is Tre Young. Trae Young is a guy that is doing things that we haven't seen in years since the great John Stockton. But because he got hair like John Stockton, we try to pretend like he ain't even black. Why? Because he had a white mama. Crazy. They say, look at his hair. They don't care if the man look like a nigga, dress like a nigga, talk like a nigga, walk like a nigga, eat like a nigga. They don't care nothing about that. They don't care about Trae Young after 25 and 12. They don't care about John Stockton and Trae Young as being two of the only players to have lead the league, lead the league in points, assists, and making record-breaking numbers. I don't care nothing about that. Why? Because you're talking, you so focused on the Hawks firing two niggas and head coach that still don't got a dang on job. I'm talking about Lloyd Pierce and Nate McMillan. Now, you can say whatever you want. This is not about them. This is about Atlanta Hawks fans saying that they want to get rid of Trae Young. So, K Styles, if you could do me a favor, sir, and explain to me if Trae Young does, in fact, needs to go, let's do that. Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of Trae Young. And I'll pass the baton to the great six-man K Styles, a.k.a. 5-man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here before you today, as we speak on Rayford, Trae Young, and the Atlanta Hawks fan base, as they wonder if the Atlanta Hawks will be able to go back to the prominence of a possible Eastern Conference Finals. A feat that which we have not seen in the last 4 years. Have all said that Mr. Trae Young is the biggest issue in the Atlanta Hawks not progressing the way that they want him to do. Now, as I sit here with a bottle in my hand, as I sit here staring at the sky, I always wonder, why? Lord, why? Is Trae Young the big issue for the Atlanta Hawks? And if so, Lord, what is the solution? Is it time for Trae Young to leave? Is it time for Trae Young to be traded? Atlanta Hawks fans want to know. And said question is, if it is time for him to go, what is the replacement plan for said Trae Young? Because we have heard the talking points of low shooting percentages. We have heard high turnover rates. We have heard bad defense. We have heard selfish, coach killer. So as I speak to y'all in this manner in which we have, is Trae Young the biggest issue that's holding the Atlanta Hawks back? So inquiring minds want to know, if that is the case, who do you replace Trae Young with? And before I shed a tear here, let me go ahead and tell my orchestra in the back. Y'all can go ahead and cut it. So K Styles is known as this is the end of my confessions. So let's go ahead and get right back to the show. Sam, what is your thoughts on the possibility of Trae Young may not being with the Atlanta Hawks in the near future?
I've asked the question and still haven't got a legitimate answer to this question that I've been asking a certain particular person who's been known to be the president of the I Hate Trae Young fan club. How much sense does it make to get rid of 28 and 12? What your contingency plan? How do you replace 28 and 12? Now, said person likes to go to that particular talking point of the turnovers. Well, you ask some of the people that be on the receiving end of some of those 12 on average attempts assists. Trae, you know what I'm saying, probably would be averaging about 16 to 17 assists a game if, guys would keep their hands up or be paying attention. But, you have a lot of people that don't think that way.
Can I ask you a question? Can I give you some numbers, Sam?
Yes,
if I
sir.
may? So, a lot of people like to point out the fact that Trae Young commits a lot of turnovers. Well, let me give you 3 big names. I'll give you 5 big names in the NBA. They're in the top 10 in turnovers. Okay? These are top 10. I'm just going to give you the big names. Anybody know this guy named Jason Tatum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a top turnover guy. Anybody know this guy, Nikolai Jokic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, top turnover guy. Anybody know this guy named Anthony Edwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, top turnover guy. Anybody know this guy named LeBron James?
Of course.
Yeah, he's a top 5 turnover guy. Anybody know this guy named James Harden?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't he lead the league in scoring?
Yeah. So he's a top turnover guy. So everybody like the fact that he's a top turnover guy, but all of the top guys turn the ball over because they have one thing in common. Anybody know what that one thing in common is?
They're the primary ball handler.
Ding, 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 ding. That's what happened when you are the shit. The ball is always in your hand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So people like to try to turn a negative with Trae, which the positive they try to ignore. Well, the ball is in his hand like it is LeBron, like Cunningham, like Harden, like Edwards, like Westbrook, like Jokic, like Booker, like Tatum, like Levine. Like I could keep going on and on. Okay, so many guys turn the ball over because they're mega stars. That's what superstars do. They have the ball in their hands plenty of time, all the time. So I just wanted to throw that out, Sam.
People also need to take into account, chemistry on the team doesn't happen overnight. We've added some good pieces that I think if they hold the core of it together, I think that we will progress forward, and then also, we've had horrible injury issues, but yet the whole problem with this team is Trae Young. I mean, as good as Jalen is, I mean, damn, he can't be good when he's always on the training table. Conway, and then the other guy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Three major pieces that have over the last 2 seasons that have, been on and off the court with injuries. But yet Trae is the problem. The guy that's available most of the time, the guy that who comes up in crunch time with big shots or big passes, or you know what I'm saying? I don't get you people. I really don't. Whether it be his skin color, whether it be his height, you know what I'm saying, or you're nitpicking his game. How can you nitpick 28 and 12?
I'm glad you said that, because this is something that a lot of people have said, and not just one particular person, but it's stated that Trae Young, sir, is one of those, like, he's a quote unquote a low IQ basketball player. That's what's going around, that he's a low IQ basketball player and he takes terrible shots. And this is something that me and K Styles were talking about. There's 3 guys in the history of the game that I'm just gonna mention. One of them still playing. These guys were the worst shots takers in the history of the game. Okay? The absolute worst. And I want you guys to tell me, with these 3 guys, what do they have in common? Okay? The first one is regarded as the GOAT, and Michael Jordan. Okay? This dude took some of the most horrible shots you could ever see. I mean, terrible. What did he do? Win championships. What did this guy that we call Kobe Bean Bryant, RIP to the GOAT, to one of the greatest of all time? Took horrible shots. Okay? And then the third one, Steph Curry. This dude is the worst shot taker in the history of the game. Ain't nobody worse than Steph. Okay? I'm his biggest fan. I get so excited about it, because this shit you should not be doing, and he does it. And he makes it work. That's the funny part about this. He shouldn't even be doing this. Jordan, Kobe, Steph Curry, all those guys had one thing in common outside of horrible shot making. And what is that?
Is it the field goal percentage? And the it's a multitude of things. Now, if you're looking at the individual side of things, the main thing people were going to say is, well, the field goal percentage is higher. Another thing that comes into it well is they have well orchestrated teams that stayed together.
Samuel?
Y'all better be careful what you ask for, because you mess around and you get your wish granted, and then he's somewhere else winning championships.
Right there.
Don't be sitting around. Why could you do that? Because you didn't give him the time to do it here.
People hated those 3 guys. That's right there is what's missing. Everybody hated Kobe. Everybody hated Jordan. Everybody hates Trae. That's the thing that all 3 of those guys got. But the biggest thing of them all, besides the hate, is what K-Style just said. Those guys got team built around them properly.
Yep.
You hear? Jordan was averaging. Jordan won. Look, this Negro won Offensive Player of the Year, scoring title, and Defensive Player of the Year all in 1 year, and they didn't get him no damn where. Okay, Kobe Bryant was averaging 30-some points a damn game, and they got him nowhere until he built the team around him. Tre Young is averaging 25 and 12. Only one person that's gotten close to that, and that's goddamn John Stockton. Okay? So give this man an opportunity before we start putting him down like that, bro. Give him an opportunity.
Facts. You give Trae Young a legitimate 7-footer and watch what happens. I'm just putting it out there. You give him a Giannis type, Anthony Davis type, KD type, and watch what happens. Watch what happens. And you know what I'm saying? To say all that, if Jalen can stay on the court and the route that Ogongu is going in his progression, it's going to happen. But chemistry ain't born in a season, in two, in some cases. It takes time for you to learn guys and guys to learn you. I mean, you know, this ain't your, you know what I'm saying? This ain't you at home playing 2K. This the NBA, man. Just saying.
So let's sit here and play devil's advocate. Let's say the Trae Young replacement plan. Let's say Trae Young is they're on their way of getting rid of him this offseason. The question that I have for everybody is, who do you replace him with? Who would you like to see the Hawks replace Trae Young with at their point guard position? Is there any particular guy that will fit with what this team is right now?
Look, let's just keep it a buck. All right. If you're not swapping him for a Kyrie or a Damian Lillard, you wasting it. You wasting it. Period, point blank. You wasting it.
But here's the problem with the Dame Lillard one though. They got the similar shooting numbers.
That's funny though.
Fact.
A lot of these guys, Giannis Antetokounmpo is another one, the guy that turns the ball over a lot, but because he's Giannis and they have better team and better front office guys and coaching staff, they don't get the brunt of the blame like that. Well, that's the problem that I have. So it's like I don't think people have an answer for that, Gib, to be honest. Nobody like. I'm gonna say this, K-Styles. I'm gonna pull a K-Styles right now. If Trae Young, we're not gonna win, and he played losing basketball, is what they say, because he don't play defense, and that in itself. Look, anybody that say Trae Young don't play defense, look, everybody need to be socked in their motherfucking eye. Okay, I mean, dot that motherfucker like a. Look, dot that motherfucker like a polka dot fucking show. Just dot they fucking eyes. Because ain't no goddamn defense in the NBA. Okay, stop it. But let's just say that everything is true that he played losing basketball, and we're never going to win anything. He's going to put up a bunch of numbers, and we're never going to win anything. How about we just get rid of him? Period. We don't need 15. We don't need no 5 picks. Let's just give us two. Look, give us 2 first-round picks, and that's it. Because no organization is going to win with Trae, according to y'all. Because he don't play no defense. That's what y'all saying. He's a coach killer. He's a team killer. Let's get rid of him for. We're gonna trade Tre Young for 1 first-round pick. That's it. Because he's a loser. He's a bad teammate. He get coaches fired. He get organization front office fired. Let's just get rid of him. Would y'all be okay with that?
So that's the question that I ask people watching. How bad do you want Trae Young gone from Atlanta? So hold on. So before anybody on this panel answers, I want to see the comments. How bad do you want Trae Young gone? Do. Hold on, do we gotta do the Jeopardy music? Do you wanna do the Jeopardy music, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom.
These funny. These comments are funny already because woo.
But Southside, this is the thing that you forgot what Mike said. Trae Young has the reputation of being a coach killer,
Mm-hmm.
can't shoot consistently, can't play defense, and play losing basketball. How bad do you want him gone?
Mm-hmm. This is based on y'all personal takes on them because that's how you guys are saying this about Trey. We're not talking about the Atlanta Hawks right now. We're talking about y'all. You said that he plays losing basketball. That came out of your mouth, sir. That's what a lot of people have said. So if he's a loser, why do we need to get something for a loser? Because he's not gonna win nothing anyway. I mean, is that too unreasonable, y'all? He's a loser. Trae Young is a loser. We're not gonna get rid. We're not gonna win anything with him. We're just gonna get a bunch of numbers. So if
I was
that's the
like,
case, why just not get something from it and just get him the fuck up off
look,
this thing?
look. Here's the trade scenario. Trae Young for Ben Simmons and 3 first-round picks. Now Ben
An
Simmons can't
expiring contract.
in an aspiring contract, a nigga that ain't gonna shoot a lot, but he's big enough to where he can play defense on the perimeter. I almost threw up in my mouth saying that shit. Now the answers ain't coming in like that right now.
I'm kind of disappointed because a lot of people had that. A lot of people had a lot to say.
Of course, of course, Corey said that works for me. He a Clippers fan, so he cool.
Oh, we know that's worth for you.
He
I
is cool.
mean, none of us up here are drinking that hyperbaric Kool-Aid that he's drinking. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
He doing it. Keyshawn say, "Ain't nobody doing that."
You know, I mean, look, just giving us a slight example. Y'all do know OKC didn't happen overnight. That took 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You know,
Or how about this? Trey Young for James Harden. How about that? Southside said, "Nah, that ain't gonna work for me." But we got Kobe Buffkin though.
Mm-hmm.
We got Kobe Buffkin.
yeah, and he's still a good season or two away.
Hmm. What about Lamelo Ball?
You know what?
And that,
What about
That might be
Lonzo Ball?
I'm look okay. All right. That young man over in Charlotte. Um, if you add one, maybe two more pieces to that, and you might achieve something. You
Hmm.
know, you might achieve something. Is that I don't care what you don't care what you think about him and who his daddy is and all that, but that boy's a hell of a point guard.
Now I fuck with the I fuck with
the
Melo.
point is, Sam, is look, y'all say Trey is ass, so let's just get rid of him.
This is true. This is true. You know,
Because
the
that's what we
multitude
hear.
of folks in his fan base. You know, I mean, look, I didn't know 28 points, 12 assists. You know what I'm saying? Five boards, steal almost two a game. Is horrible. I didn't know that. I guess I've been believing in not aware of the NBA game all these
Well,
years.
uh, you
You
also
know,
got to think about the 5-6 turnovers because the thing that a lot of people look at Trey Young, and I'm gonna say it here, they look at the 5 to 6 turnovers per game. They look at the sub 43% field goal percentage, the sub 33% from 3-point range. And this is the measure on why they want him gone is just what on those three in itself.
okay, let's take okay, Armageddon happens, and he ends up. Uh, mm, uh, let's see here. He ends up in San Antonio and becomes an MVP candidate and has a triple two to the finals. Let's say he ends up hell even in his own division. You drop Trey on that Orlando team, and then he's come finals, maybe even the finals.
Huh? You know, it's funny that you said Orlando because Orlando has been tied to his name quite a bit here recently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With Paolo Bencero, with Paolo
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah. Hell, but you drop Trey on that Detroit team, and they are 15 games better.
Yeah.
See the
Oh,
problem here with this team is, and most of our problem is upstairs. We got to find somebody to come in here and undo the financial and trade capital, draft capital issue that we got.
that DeJounte Murray trade kind of set this franchise back a little bit.
Cause see now you got to go in and all eyes on our scouting department to find the exact talent, to find the right talent, you know what I'm saying, to fit here with what we have, because we're somewhat in an immovable situation. I mean, but y'all don't want to give guys time to grow together. Y'all don't want to give, you know what I'm saying, give scheme visions time to, you know what I'm saying, progress out.
If the shit don't happen in 3 years, everybody want out. That's what
Right.
the fuck happened.
Mm-hmm.
How long, Sam? How long did it take Michael Jordan to get it?
7.
7 fucking years. Had the Bulls gave up on Michael Jordan, what the fuck happened? It would you would have lost one of the greatest scores of all time. But they were patient with him. They groomed him. They figured out, all right, what can we do with him to make him to take his game in the Chicago Bulls down to the next level. We finally found the right.
One, you had to put people around him. One, you had to put people around him. Two, he had to learn how to trust them people around him instead of shooting 50 times a damn game.
Mm-hmm. You gotta remember, Trey is only 26.
He only 20 fucking 6, y'all.
26.
He ain't even in year 7 and year 8. LeBron James played 20 fucking years, y'all. And we up here talking about Trae Young after 6 fucking years. Are you freaking kidding me, bro? Hey, what's wrong with y'all, bro? What's wrong with y'all? We gotta stop. If it don't happen in X amount of years, everybody say blow it all up. And let's give up on a star player. Kobe Bryant, nobody would have predicted that he would be the player that he is after Shaq left. Nobody would have predicted that.
Yeah. But we like I said, we have a new point guard to look forward to. I guess Trey Young be on his way to Dallas, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
If that ain't Cooper Flag, everybody can suck a mean left nipple off of a alien, okay? If it ain't Cooper Flag, you can kiss my ass, okay? I don't want nobody if it ain't Cooper.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, I'm a Cooper fan as well, but there are one or two big men. One is a project, the other one isn't. It would be, swinging through this draft. But I kind of had that sentiment just a little bit. I ain't. I'm not. I'll jump off that cliff, but I got a bungee cord attached to me because
he got PPE with him. I'll
right.
jump off that bitch, but I'm about to be as safe as possible.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel because Cooper Flag is that guy. He is. He's the NBA ready guy in this upcoming draft. He is. There is no, you know what I'm saying, wait for him to get it. Time that frame that's going to be attached to him because he's already got it and he's ready. He's ready. He has all
the dookie, baby. Oh yeah!
he has
Oh
all the
my
tools.
God! It's a dookie. He's on fire.
if there was a template comparison, he's an even more athletic Tom Chambers. And, you know, for those of you who ain't old enough to remember that white boy, go pull him up.
Sam, don't nobody know no goddamn Tom Chambers. We know Tom Chambers, but they 20-something years old.
They just say Tom Chambers will posterize your ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
With that flying ass mullet. Yeah.
yeah. You know, that boy, he ready.
Mm.
He's ready.
But I had to give a shout out to Coach because he mentioned the name Hanson Yang, which I've heard that this is a name that's kind of been
Oh
associated with
yeah,
Atlanta
that would be
for a
nasty
little
with him.
while.
Trey.
Yeah.
So, like I said, is that a guy that they take a chance in a flyer on? Because I think they said he only 19 as well, so he's got a lot of development in his game. But like you said, he's kind of like that big that actually fits with what this Hawks team needs. Because let's just be honest with the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks haven't been the same since that 21 team. If you remember what that 21 team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, your front court players were also space guys too. These were guys. These were guys that wasn't stuck around the rim. So you kind of allowed that pick and pop, that drive and floating game to be a dangerous weapon. The issue is, and what's sad, and I think Sam will agree with me on this. You don't really have a Kongwu is working on that right now, and he's improved on it too. But you really don't have that threat in the front court. That guy that he can give a little bit of space, but he has a presence down there. At this point in time, Clint Capella is a role player right now. He really was a role player to begin with, but it worked because you had, I hate to say this, John Collins had enough versatility in his game that made Clint Capella's game look that much more important. And not just John Collins, but the Dello Gallinari as well.
Oh, you mean the juiced up John?
Yeah, juiced up John, yeah. But they got but the thing is they gotta get bigger in their front court.
Yeah, I think the thing is really keeping this Hawks team back is really the fact that they got a bunch of midgets surrounding the midget. Okay, and Tre Young, look, he's what, a couple inches shorter than I. So he's not short, but compared to NBA, a lot of NBA players that play, I mean, John Morant, those guys, like, I mean, he's about the same size of those guys, but like he just doesn't have the athleticism. And to be frank, man, a lot of these people today just don't care for players who can't jump. Okay, if you can't jump off the guy, if
Mhm.
you can't jump off the floor like a damn pogo stick, they don't care nothing about your game. If you can't dunk, they don't care nothing about your game. And that's why, for me personally, I love Steph. I love Trey because these guys just fundamentally sound, man. I love fundamentally sound basketball. Like I've always had my favorite player was Scottie Pippen. Believe it or not, people just like, yeah, I love watching Jordan. I've never missed a Jordan game. I never missed like when I had a chance to see Magic Johnson. I watched Magic Johnson. I watched Scott. I watched Michael Jordan. I watched Patrick Ewing. I watched all these guys. I watched a lot. But what I enjoyed most was Scottie Pippen, Tre Young, Steph Curry, because those guys are fundamentally sound. I love watching Shaquille O'Neal. Everybody thought Shaq was just a big fat slob just standing in the middle. No, this dude was he's one of the most fundamentally skilled big men that ever. I'm talking about it. Outside of Cap,
Yeah,
it wasn't too many that was fundamentally
that's my
sound.
man. That's my man right there, Shaq Diesel.
Like Shaq, boy, he would do that damn drop step. He would do that damn drop step, spin off the drop step, dribble. What like who do you know? How many centers that you knew do that? It was only him and Cap. That was it. Shaq and Cap.
I'm sorry. There was a guy named Akeem Olajuwon.
I mean, King did everything wrong though.
What?
I'm not saying he wasn't athletic, but King did everything wrong.
What? Okay.
King did everything wrong. Because I see what you saying. Spinning off of a damn spin ain't fucking fundamentally sound, Sam.
That green check. I'm not making disrespect to green check.
Hold on,
I'm not disrespecting the green check.
K-Styles, I appreciate you letting me
He's the
join.
only nigga that can spin off a spin. That ain't fundamentally sound, okay?
This conversation has officially crashed and burned.
No, it has not.
I appreciate y'all for letting me join because he is absolutely on crack with that bullshit he just
No, listen what I just
he
said.
is absolutely on crack. You were doing just fine, but you came off with some crackhead steroid bullshit to say Elijah Warren did everything wrong.
Hold on, listen to what I said. Listen to what I said, y'all.
No, bro. No, ain't no listen to that.
Hold on,
Name another player that can do what Akeem did.
That is some bullshit.
Name another player that can do what Akeem did.
Who else had the footwork Akeem Olajuwon had?
That's the whole point.
So how you figure that's wrong?
He spin off of spin. The nigga spin off of spin.
I can't. No, Mike, I can't let you get away with that one. You not disrespecting the green check like that.
That's damn near borderline.
You need to stop sniffing glue.
No,
and get off the paint, Dunham. Because you have officially jumped off the bullshit cliff with that right now.
No.
You talking about the dream and everything wrong? That is bullshit, Mike. That is bullshit.
Ain't no nigga ever did that.
That is bullshit.
Hey, guess what? That motherfucking shit worked. That's the dream.
It worked. That's the whole point. That's what I was saying.
Where you think Kobe got his feet work from?
But that's the thing. Everybody worked with him. That's a very
what I said. You were so infatuated on me saying this shit was wrong. It worked.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the shit that you done said to me before. You started off with the wrong words. Goddammit.
No, that's
no. To say Olajuwon did everything wrong, that is absolutely asinine.
No, that's all you heard. You got fixated on the wrong word. That ain't my fault. You got fixated on the wrong word.
Mike, you full of bull. You full of shit now.
I'm not.
You full of shit. You a hypocritical ass, full of shit ass motherfucker right now. Yes, you are. You are. That is bullshit.
You just told me that you started off on the wrong word. You failed on it. You said that. I didn't say that.
You know what, Mike? You keep your spin machine running all you damn want to. What you said was absolute bullshit.
The only nigga that you know that can spin off a spin. Okay? Ain't no way in hell. That shit is all wrong. Just because the nigga do it don't mean it's right.
Really,
So
really, right? You gonna die on that rusty ass sword right there.
So what you telling me?
Nigga
So
do what Akeem did. That shit ain't right. Okay.
what
I ain't never
you?
seen a nigga spin off of a spin. So another nigga do that shit all wrong.
And guess what? He gave everybody that work on that shit too.
And he sure as hell did. I didn't say it was bad. I said the shit was wrong.
What you mean you
I
didn't
said
say
it
it
was
was
fundamentally
bad? Oh my
wrong.
god!
Hold on. Wait a minute. Goddamn. Wait a goddamn minute, Rondell. So
Yeah.
you used the wrong word there. You say the word that you needed to use was unorthodox.
Look, it's fundamentally wrong. Do you know
How the
anybody that
fuck?
spins off of a spin? They don't teach that. That's what fundamentals do. They don't teach what. Let me see, because y'all don't know y'all don't understand what fundamental means. Fundamental is what they teach. Nobody
You
does
don't
that.
understand
If
what
your
fundamental is.
pivot
You
foot,
saying what Elijah one did was not. All right.
hold on, wait a minute.
Nobody teaches
So
to spin off of a spin. That's not fundamental. They don't teach what LeBron. They don't teach Hakeem. They never taught what he does. They don't teach you to spin. I played basketball. They don't teach what Hakeem does. That's why people had to go to Hakeem because
Nigga,
they
I
don't
played
teach that.
basketball too.
let me
don't have
so
that.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So
Yes.
if your pivot foot never leaves the ground,
I
is
didn't say
that
that. I
fundamentally
didn't say
wrong?
that. No, look, I didn't say that it doesn't work. I said it was fundamentally wrong, meaning they don't teach you to do that.
And they
That's
don't
what
teach these
fundamentals is.
they don't teach these motherfuckers like I said, and it's fundamentally wrong to be attempting step back 40 times
Yes,
a game too.
it is. But they
But
teach
the
that
hint,
now, though. They didn't teach what Hakeem did. Nobody did that. That's why Hakeem is a GOAT in itself, because he had footwork that nobody else even thought about doing. So there weren't
so
fundamentals wrong.
that technically does not mean that it's wrong. That means that ain't nobody else got that skill set.
It was fundamentally, it go back to the word fundamental. They didn't teach that.
So
Until that.
how many other big men you seen with Patrick Ewing
Never. I've
baseline
never
jumpers?
seen anybody like Hakeem. Never.
No. How many other people have you seen with Patrick Ewing's baseline jumper, turnaround jumper?
Quite
Okay,
a few.
how many other 7-footers did you ever seen that could pull you out to the top of key and take you off a first step dribble like David Robinson?
Now let me
Well,
say
quite a
this.
few.
Okay,
I
Let
agree.
me say let me say this. Let me say this. Was Dirk
Mm-hmm.
Nowitzki's fadeaway jump shot wrong?
No, but they teach that.
oh my
Man, that
god.
shit was all the way fucking wrong. That motherfucker jumped off the wrong foot most of the
No,
time.
see, you going back to the fundamentals. His style and fundamentals are not the same. That's not the same thing.
So jumping off the wrong foot is a fundamental skill, but spinning off a
That's his
pivot
style.
is
But
not
they teach
fundamental.
fadeaway jump shots. The fadeaway jump shot is what they teach.
They don't teach that shit to all big men.
Yes, they look, bro. They teach that. They teach that what
Outside
they do. When you go in the moment,
outside of
that's what
Dirk
they teach.
Nowitzki, who do you know has the afflicted ass off foot fadeaway jump
You
shot as a
going
big
right
man?
back to what I was saying about Hakeem. Dirk Nowitzki made that wrong shit look right. That's exactly what I said about. That's what I said about Hakeem.
But just because nobody else does it doesn't mean that it's fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
It does not mean that
It's
it's
still
fundamentally wrong,
fundamentally.
Mike. No, it
No,
doesn't, Mike. No, it
yes,
doesn't, Mike.
because it's fundamentals. The fundamentals is what they teach you. If you're right-handed, they teach you how to use your fundamentals for you being right-handed. If you're left-handed, they teach you the moves for a left-hander.
But guess what?
But players use their own little what worked for that player. Look, let me make a perfect example because I was watching. I don't know if y'all was watching this.
Motherfucker walking right now.
Hold on, Sam. Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember it was an interview with Cheryl Miller, and Cheryl Miller was talking about Reggie Miller's shot. Reggie Miller shot the ball with two hands. He didn't have a one-handed release. If you go back and look at Reggie Miller, he shot the ball with two hands. He shot the ball real high.
His feet hit each other. His fists clicked.
Yeah, that's fundamentally wrong. They don't teach you because in that same interview, Cheryl Miller said his dad wanted to change the shot, but he said it worked, so they left it alone. Going back to fundamentally sound. It's awkward as hell, but it works. But it's not fundamentally sound.
So basically, what you're saying is whatever the fuck works for you. That doesn't because you got a bunch of motherfuckers that's fundamentally sound that can't do shit neither.
And it's fundamental for them because that's what works for them. That's their style. Everybody gonna add their game.
But you went right into what I just said. It works for them. Everybody has a different niche.
But I didn't say that. I said it was fundamentally what they teach. What they teach and how somebody changes it because it works. That's what worked for Hakeem. That's what worked for Dirk. So the fundamentals goes out the window once it works for them. You don't want to change it.
But I don't see how the dream shake is fundamentally wrong when your pivot foot is never off the ground.
They don't teach it. That's what I'm saying. They don't teach that.
They may not teach it, but he taught himself.
That's what I just said, Kim. That's exactly what I said. It worked for him.
So that is not fundamentally wrong. That just means that is an adjustment that he made.
According to how the NBA and coaches train players and how they teach players is fundamentally wrong. But if it works, you don't mess with it.
Look. Fundamentally right, wrong, whatever the fuck you want to say about that.
Leave it alone.
I need a motherfucking drink.
Because since it's fundamentally wrong, would you rather take the fundamental approach or would you rather have the dream shake?
That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm asking you the question. Since it's fundamentally wrong, would you not incorporate that into your skill set if given the opportunity?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about the dream shake?
I'm talking about the stuff that is what you said fundamentally wrong. Would you incorporate that to give you an edge, or would you just stick straight to the fundamentals?
If it works for me, I'll incorporate it. But it's dreams. Like Dirk Nowitzki jumping off the wrong leg. I don't think I want to do that. But it worked for them. So as a coach, you just got to stick with what works for them. It's just like it's like playing a cornerback position, and you got to get inside leverage. Well, they teach you inside leverage, but if a guy, if his strong arm is his right arm, and he presses with his left arm better, then shit. If it presses better with his left arm, shit. As a coach, I just got to deal with it. You go with what works. Sometimes the fundamentals go out the window when it works.
Like I said, that don't mean it's fundamentally wrong. It's like I said, It's a
It's
found
the
the
coaches. I'm not talking
fundamental.
about for me,
No, no,
Kev. I'm talking about what the
I'm
coaches
no, no,
see.
no, no, no. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You still have fundamentals, but you have adjustments based on the player. Like you said, this
Right,
all tying into the
right.
same
It's
thing.
all tied together into coaching.
But
But
the thing
that's
of
what the basic is.
but the thing about it is if it's fundamentally flawed,
It's effective.
regardless, it's going to be effective. Right.
Yeah, effectiveness cancels out the fundamentals. But when you start coaching a player, you start with the fundamentals first. But if those fundamentals don't work, and some unorthodox work for him, like the dream shake or the left-handed jumping off the wrong foot shit, if it works, all that fundamental goes out the window. So it goes right back to coaching. That's what coaching is. Figure out what works. Because look at Steph, for example. Look at LeBron, for example, too. LeBron plays better when he's the primary ball handler because he can see everything on the court. He plays better when he's the primary ball handler. Steph Curry plays better when he's off the ball. Like when you put the ball in Steph Curry's hand, can he score? Yeah. But he's more effective when he's playing off the ball.
So what
So it
about
really just depends. It depends
so what
on
about
what that player is good at.
so what about Ben Simmons? What is he fundamentally good at?
Shit, your guess is better than mine, goddamn. Your guess is as good as mine because I don't know. He good at not shooting the damn layup. I know that.
Lord have mercy. Everybody.
See, right here, this is another fundamental thing that Prime used to get burnt on purpose. They never teach that bullshit. They never teach that. But he knew he had makeup speed.
But
So what the coaches do, just let him do it because it worked for him.
yeah, because I know for me, and this is my personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a left-handed jump shooter, predominantly right-handed dribbler.
See, motherfucker, you fundamentally flawed. See,
That ain't fundamentally flawed
yeah,
because I can
yeah,
dribble
you
with
is.
both hands.
You was a big 300-pound motherfucker out here shooting jumpers. Get your big
Nigga,
ass in the paint.
nigga, when I was playing ball, I was at 215, nigga. I ain't wasn't no big motherfucker. You better quit playing with me, motherfucker. I was 215, 220. I could play down low.
See, I played mostly down low. That was what I like. So again, 6'3", 6'2" guys are not supposed to play in the post like that. Fundamentally, go back to the fundamentals. They tell me get my little ass out the paint.
Yeah, I was a 220 guy that played off the ball and in the mid range game. So I know.
Mm-hmm. He said
I said,
Southside said K Style was essentially Kyle Lowry. No, man. Look, big
no,
ass
no, no,
goddamn
no,
shooter.
no, no, no. I'm gonna tell. No, 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 no. No, I was Charles Barkley. That's what they used to call me, Sir Charles. That's how I was. I was Sir Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I was Sir Charles. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, that's what I did right there. Mid range, get to the paint, facilitate. But I had the
Mm-hmm.
ability to move off the ball.
I could do it.
Oh,
Look, like I said, I love playing in the post. Most of my game was really just playing in the post, off that fadeaway jump shot. I love that shit, and I had plenty of moves off the fadeaway.
Nah.
And
Yeah.
that's not something that they'll teach a 6'3" guy.
Yeah.
You're not tall enough, so they
Yeah.
won't teach you those things first.
See, I couldn't play organized basketball because I wasn't tall enough.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't tall enough.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you imagine you imagine your best post player 5'11", 215. Nah, that ain't gonna work.
Hell no, that's not gonna work. But if that shit is effective, shit, you just gonna have to make that shit do what it do.
Hmm. But the high post is what I did most of my damage, and I was a high post player anyway.
That mid range jump
See,
shot.
yeah, aka the jump shot that will save the NBA in the future.
hmm It's
The mid
already
range jump
there.
shot.
You already seeing it right now. Though. A lot of
The
those
mid.
guys are taking that. Like, who said that in the chat? Xavier Littman said like Halliburton, his shit ugly as fuck. Ain't nobody gonna like he got an ugly ass jump shot. Don't nobody teach that
No,
bullshit.
ain't nobody got an uglier jump shot than Bill Cartwright, and that shit was wet.
Bill Cartwright and goddamn JaVale McGee. Yeah, they tried to fix them motherfucking jump shot. That shit didn't work.
Well, they got a new guy. They got a new guy on Instagram right now. That motherfucker jumps. I don't know what he does, but when he pulls back, the ball is literally on his elbow, and he rolls that shit up to
I
his
saw
hand.
that. I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw that. I
Now
saw
you
that.
talking about fundamentally flawed? Now that shit ain't even fundamental. That shit just whack.
Sean Marion, another ugly ass jump shot. Nobody teach. Nobody teach that bullshit. That shit was ugly as hell too. But it was effective. I don't know how the hell he did it, but it was
Cause he's
effective.
strong. Cause he got them broad ass shoulders and he had them long ass arms, so he didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If it works, it's not fundamentally flawed. Now, if it doesn't work, you fucked up.
So you're redefining fundamental, in your opinion.
Am I redefining fundamental?
Yeah.
No.
Because what is the word fundamental?
The fundamental is the basics,
The
and
basic.
every form, regardless on if it looks unorthodox or not, has a base of fundamentals that go with it. There is there, like I said, there's a little bit of and there's a little improvised in it, but it's all gonna be based on fundamentals, no matter how you see it.
Fundamentals based on the concept. Okay.
The concept and
A concept in
the
itself.
concepts are all the same.
And a
Like you
rule and a
said,
law. No. Because the concept is based on one rule. So it's the rule of shooting, the rule of rebounding, the rule of boxing out. The concept never changes of the fundamental. The fundamental concept, the fundamental concept never changes until you get a motherfucker that is effective on certain things, and then all right, you just say fuck the fundamentals. But the fundamentals never change.
but at the end of the day, it's a form. It's all a
Based on
form
coach.
of the fundamental. But like I said, you got certain people that have certain quirks that changes up a bit, but it's all based solely on the fundamental, regardless on how the fuck it looks.
So you
Because
redefining it.
because no, because the thing,
That's still
no,
redefining it, Kim. That's
that
still
is not
redefining.
redefined. How am I going to redefine something that's based on that is based on the same
It,
principle?
because it's a rule.
I'm I'm
A
looking I'm
concept
no
and a
I'm
rule.
looking at the
That's
I'm
what the
looking at the base. You're looking at how it looks. I'm looking at the base of it.
but
That's where
that's
I'm
not
coming from.
fundamental. But that's not what fundamental means. That's not what fundamental means.
You're so full of shit.
No, that's not what fundamental means. A fundamental means a basic, a rule,
So,
a
so
concept,
at
and
the
the
end of the day,
rule and the
you're still
concept
trying to
never
say
change.
Elijah 1-1 fundamental, which is bullshit.
Look, it worked,
So
so it's no longer fundamentally sound.
so basically, if it was fundamentally sound, it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't
No,
have
that's
done it.
not what I said. It's not fundamental. It's effective. So the fundamentals get thrown out.
Okay, where does
That's
all
no.
where does all this shit start? Because it got to start somewhere,
It starts from the fundamental. That's where it starts.
and that's the point that I'm fucking making.
That's
It
what I
start
say. No, you
no
because you saying
no. What you're telling me is because it's unorthodox, it's not fundamental. I'm saying that the
but
basis of it is the fundamentals, but it's been altered solely based on what?
so
Regardless
it's
on
no
if you
longer so it's no longer basic. It's no longer the fundamental if it's altered. It's no longer if it's altered, it's no longer the basic.
so
It's
how does all
altered.
this
It's
stuff
not the same thing.
what is the base here? So what is the base? Because you're telling me that it all starts fundamental. Fundamental
All right,
is
so what's a
base.
drop step? What's a drop step, for example?
Your typical drop step is going to be you picking up the ball and you drop down two,
Hey, you
right?
pick up the ball, jump two. So if somebody say I'm an alter and say I'm just gonna pick I'm gonna take a step, take one foot, and then take another step off there. If that's still the drop step of his alter. Instead of you take one, then one. And instead of one, then two.
But the ideology is still the same, regardless on if it's altered or not. So if I take a drop step and I got a defender on me, am I supposed to go up and let the nigga block it? Or am I gonna do something else to try to get around it?
That's what they teach. It's based on what they teach, sir.
So do everybody teach the same thing or people teach different things?
Everybody teach the same thing with the fundamentals. The fundamentals never change. But you got other
So
people that have different ideologies, and they teach those different ideologies based off what the fundamentals are.
which goes back to the fundamentals being the base of everything. That's why I'm getting at. I'm talking about the base of everything. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying.
we
Everything
said
starts
that.
somewhere.
We said that already. We
But
already
that's
said
what I'm
that,
talking.
bro.
But that's what I'm going with. I'm saying that everything starts right there.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
what I
different
said.
alterations.
Yeah,
That
it's
does not mean
alteration.
it's fundamentally flawed. That means that it's a goddamn audible.
That's not a fundamental then. If it's altered,
So basically what you telling me is right now that nobody should be working on the dream shake.
no, I didn't say that.
Why not? It's not fundamental. It's not fundamental.
It's fundamental. It's altered. You can't
But you
teach
said,
everybody that. You can't teach everybody the dream shake, but they don't teach that. Nobody teaches a shake after a shake. That's not what they teach.
oh my
You
goodness.
can if you want to.
So like I said, if it's not one pivot, if it's not a drop step, like I said, it shouldn't be taught.
I
I
didn't say
got you.
that. Nah, I
I
didn't say
got you.
that.
I got you. I got you, man. I got
I
you.
didn't say that.
I got you. I got you. So if it's not fundamentally taught in the textbook, it shouldn't be taught by everybody. I got you.
Not everybody. Now we got that right. Not everybody should be teaching that.
Now it shouldn't be taught to nobody then. I got you.
That's not what I said.
I got
That's
you.
not what I said. That's
I
not what I
got you.
said.
I got you,
No,
Mike.
man,
I
you're not gonna
got you.
put words in my
I
mouth. 'Cause
got
that's
you,
not what I
Mike.
said, Kim.
I
That
got
ain't
you,
what I
Mike.
said.
That's exactly
No,
what you
that's
damn
not what I
said.
said. I ain't
I
say
got
that.
you, Mike.
No,
Elijah
No,
Kim,
no,
you're
Wan
not
no,
gonna put
no.
words in my. I didn't say that.
We gonna stick to that. We gonna stick to
No,
that. If it
you're
we
not
gonna
doing
stick
it.
to
I
that.
didn't say that. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say that. I did not say that.
I
You
mean,
put words in my mouth. I didn't say that.
you're saying what Elijah One did was fundamentally wrong. And nobody else could do it. Okay, who else could shoot Kareem hook shot?
A lot of people did.
Oh my goodness!
Not as
Thank you and
effective
good
as
night,
he
ladies and
did.
gentlemen.
That's effectiveness. The hook shot is something that they taught to big men, but not all the big men could do it.
You should be a politician.
Oh, I am. Oh, I am. You must have forgotten. My name is Senator Palpatine, sir. Senator
No,
Man.
your name is Senator Bullshit.
so so like I said, according to Mike, if it's
No,
not
no,
fundamental,
no, no.
no,
That's
no,
not what I
no,
said.
no,
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 no. You're
no,
not.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no,
not gonna let you
motherfucker.
put words in my mouth because that's not what I
No,
said.
no. He
Nope.
said if it's not
No, that's not
fundamental,
what I
then it's
said.
no. You
Nope.
said if it's
Now you
not
trying to
fundamental.
redefine my
No,
words. Nope, ain't
no. You
happening.
said no. You
No, I
said if
did
it's
not.
not fun. You said if it's not fundamental, then it's
I
flawed.
did not say that.
Yes, you
No,
did.
I
You
did not.
literally said
I did
you
not
said
say
they were
that.
fundamentally flawed, which means if it's not fundamentally textbook, then it's flawed. That's
It,
exactly what you said
no,
on this damn
you
shit.
said it shouldn't be taught. I didn't say nothing about it shouldn't be taught. If it's
No,
effective, you stick with it.
no. You said if it's not textbook and it's
Mm-hmm.
something that nobody else does, then it's
Mm-hmm.
flawed. That's
It's
what you said.
fundamentally flawed. Put that in there. The
It,
fundamentally flawed.
it's still flawed, regardless. You said
Fundamentally
it's
flawed.
flawed. No,
Yeah.
you like I said, it's flawed regardless.
But
If
I
it's
never
not
said
text,
anything about it never shouldn't be taught.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the word flawed. You said flawed. If it's not textbook, if it's not taught, it's flawed.
Yes. Now we agree on that one. But I never said it shouldn't be taught.
But But like you said, well, why would you teach a flaw then?
Because it's effective for that person. If it's working, you don't change it. It's like trying to change a hitch in somebody's step for like Ronald Acuna. If it's working for Ronald Acuna and it keeps working, just like Freddie Freeman. Like Freddie, he got a weird little hitch in his swing. But if it's working, like even with Barry Bonds with that little dip that he has in his back, like when he be like Gary Sheffield, how they be shaking the bat real good. They teach you to keep your hands still. But with Barry Bonds, his hands is constantly moving. But since it's work for him, you don't change his swing because it's working. He's hitting.
So basically, what it comes down to is only a flaw if it doesn't work.
Hmm.
We go like I said, we'll level the playing field on that way. It's only a flaw if it doesn't work.
It's flawed if it doesn't go by the textbook. Now let's say about work. If it's not taught by the textbook, it's fundamentally flawed. But that doesn't mean you should not teach it.
But why teach it if it's not in the textbook?
Because that's the fundamentals. I didn't come up with the fundamentals. I didn't come up
Why
with
would
the fundamentals.
you? So why would you teach something if it's not in the
Because
textbook?
that's what they teach. Everybody got groundwork, K-Style. Everybody has the ground rules of baseball, the ground rules of hitting, the ground rules of fielding. Those are the ground rules. You spread your legs. Some people like Ozzie Smith. Ozzie did everything. Ozzie would dive on the ground. He would jump in the air, hit backward flips off. They don't teach that shit. They will never teach you that, but it works for him, so you don't mess with it.
Lord have mercy. Boy, it's 8:21, boy. Goddamn, 2 hours. All right, man, we about to get up on out of here because me and Mike we about to cuss each other out about this shit all goddamn night. So y'all ain't got any last word before we get the fuck up on out of here.
Trae Young needs to be traded for who you said it was?
Ben
Ben
Simmons.
Simmons. Yep.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's see. He done hopped off. All right. So
He said the T step. He said the T step is fundamentally flawed. Yes, it is fundamentally because nobody teaches that. So it is fundamentally flawed. That's the ground rules of playing corner. I didn't make it up. That's why Dion was adamant about of going at what he was saying about what the name is Sante Samuel. Those are not the fundamentals of I think that the question case now should be is does the fundamentals have the fundamentals should we redefine what fundamentals is? That should be that right there is the question.
the thing, like you said, the thing is, like I said, it's not necessarily redefining because, like I said, where I'm coming from is everything is based on one single principle, and I'm just going just straight off the base of it. That like I said, that's where I'm coming from with. Like I said, anything that comes afterwards, I'm not worried about that. But everything at the end of the day, regardless on if it looks flawed or not, has one single principle that it was based off of. And then there's certain adjustments per player that they make to get themselves an advantage. So at the end of the day, we're both right. But like I said, it's kind of like one of those. It's kind of like two of those ideas that basically is conjointed as one. Yours, like I said, yours comes off the textbook side of things on how it should be taught, and mine is more so of the abnormal stuff
Well,
that's based.
how it is taught. That's what I'm basing mine on is how it is taught. I actually agree with you on the
Yeah,
fact that it should be changed according to players, which is what I
right.
talk about even Raheem. So it's based on the success of things.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we both ended up
At the
basically
same
explaining
damn
two
place.
sides.
At the same damn
We,
place.
we no, basically what we did was we explained two steps of the same goddamn motion. That's what ended up happening.
Yes.
So we're gonna get up on out of here, y'all. I ain't think we was gonna have a 20-minute goddamn argue off about damn fundamentals and shit. But like I said, man, till next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Ooh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you gotta get the hell out of here. Hmm.
Deuces.